Before discussing the cultural dimension, let me first explain the objective of the NIHAO China Travel Fair. The NIHAO China Travel Fair was held at Pavilion Bukit Jalil Exhibition Centre from 12 to 14 June 2026 from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. The entrance to this event was free for all visitors, allowing the public to freely explore and experience China's tourism attraction and cultural showcase. This event was organized to provide Malaysian visitors with an immersive introduction to China's diverse tourism destination, cultural heritage, and travel opportunities. Through these various booth, performance, and interactive activities, visitors were able to gain deeper insight into Chinese culture and lifestyle. The first objective was to promote China as an attractive tourism destination by introducing famous tourist attractions, travel package, and airline services to Malaysian visitors. This objective reflects on Hofstede's long-term orientation as China continues investing in tourism while preserving its cultural identity for future development. The next one was to Wibabi. The second objective was to preserve and showcase Chinese cultural heritage through traditional dance performance, music, handicraft, and cultural exhibitions. This also demonstrates a long-term orientation where traditions maintained and passed on to future generations. The third objective was to strengthen intercultural understanding between Malaysian and Chinese communities. Visitors had the opportunities to communicate directly with exhibitors and organizers, which relate to entrepreneurs' neutral versus emotional dimension as the staff communicated professionally while remained friendly and approachable. Lastly, the event aimed to encourage collaboration among tourism organizations in Malaysia. With the participation of 192 exhibition booths, different organizations work together to promote China as one destination. This reflects Hofstede collectivism and entrepreneur communitarism, where teamwork and collective success are highly valued. For Hofstede cultural dimension, there are several key concepts that I use to understand cultural differences. Firstly, individualism versus collectivism, which is referred to whether a culture values individual goals or cooperation. In this dimension, cultures may prioritize personal achievement and independence, or they may emphasize teamwork, group harmony, and share responsibilities among members or society. Secondly, power distance. Power distance describes how people interact with authority figures and how respect is shown within a society. It also explains whether power is distributed equally or unequally, and how comfortable people are with their hierarchy and authority in communication and decision making. Finally, time orientation. Time orientation focuses on valuing traditions, future planning, and cultural preservation. It highlights whether a culture is more focused on maintaining long-standing tradition or more focused on short-term results and immediate outcomes. For entrepreneurs' culture dimension, several aspects explain how people interact in different cultural settings. Firstly, universalism versus particularism, which is referred to the emphasis on equal rules and fair treatment for everyone. It explains whether people follow general rules consistently for all situations or whether relationship and specific circumstance influence decisions. Next, achievement versus ascription focuses on whether recognition is based on performance or status. It explains whether individuals are respected and rewarded based on their skill and achievement or based on factors such as age, background, or social position. The third is neutral versus emotional, which is describe how openly people express emotions in communication. It explains whether people tend to control and hide their emotion in professional settings or whether they express feelings more openly and directly during interactions, unequally, and how comfortable people are with hierarchy and authority in communication and decision making. For Hofstede culture dimension, I observed several cultural values during the NIHAO China Travel Fair that help explain how culture is reflected in real-life settings. Firstly, individualism versus collectivism refers to whether a culture prioritizes individual goals or group cooperation. From my experience at the event, collectivism was clearly demonstrated through the involvement of 192 booths representing different provinces, airlines, and travel agencies. I personally observed how all these organizations work together under one platform to promote China's tourism. This created a strong sense of unity and shared responsibility where the success of the event experienced on teamwork rather than individual effort. Secondly, power distance describes how people interact with authority figures and how respect is shown in communication. During my visit, I personally experienced how the staff and MC interacted with visitors in a very polite and respectful manner. They treated me and other visitors professionally yet remained friendly and approachable. Even when guiding or explaining information, they made sure we felt comfortable and welcome, which made communication between organizer and visitor were very smooth and easy. Lastly, for time orientation or long-term orientation, focus on culture preservation, tradition, and future planning. From my observation, this was strongly reflected through various culture exhibitions such as traditional performance, music, craft, and porcelain art. Experiencing this display in person made me realize how much emphasis is placed on preserving cultural heritage while also sharing it with future generations. It gave me a deeper appreciation of how culture is maintained and promoted through tourism events like this. For Trombona's culture dimension, I observed several important aspects during my experience at the NIHAO China Travel Fair, which helped me to relate cultural theories to real-life situations. Firstly, the universalism versus particularism, which is referred to whether equal rules and treatment are applied to everyone or whether decisions depend on personal relationships and specific situations. From my observation, the event demonstrates universalism as all visitors treated equally regardless of background or status. There was no preference given to any group and information, assistance, and guidance were provided consistently to all visitors. This created a fair and inclusive environment, ensuring that everyone had equal access to the event experience. Next, neutral versus emotional, which is describe how openly emotions are expressed in a communication. From my experience at the NIHAO China Travel Fair, the presenter and the MC were very friendly and engaging while delivering information. They used visuals, video, and storytelling technique to make the presentation more interesting and easy to understand. I also noticed that the audience, including myself, responds with the excitement and active interaction, showing that emotional were openly expressed and encouraged throughout the event. The third one is achievement versus ascription, which is focused on whether recognition is based on performance or status. During the event, I personally experienced this through activities such as the Q&A session and spin the wheel games. Participants were rewarded based on correct answers and active participation rather than their background or status. This made the experience feel more fair and motivating as everyone had the equal opportunities to participate and be rewarded based on their effort. In conclusion, the NIHAO China Travel Fair was a meaningful and valuable experience for me. It is because it allowed me to connect to the culture theories learned in class, such as Hofstede and Troponer culture dimensions, with a real-life observation. Through this event, I gained a deeper understanding of Chinese culture, especially in terms of teamwork, communication style, cultural preservation, and inclusivity. I also learned how cultural differences influence the way people interact, communicate, and organize events in a multicultural environment. Overall, this experience has improved my cultural awareness and communication skill. It also made me more open-minded toward different cultures and inspired me to explore more in international cultural experience in the future. Okay, now we are on the last session, which is question time. In this session, you guys have to guess the correct answer based on the question. So the first one gonna be the what aspect of Hofstede can be found in the NIHAO China Travel Fair. The second one is what aspect of trombonal culture dimension can be found in the NIHAO China Travel Fair. That will be the end of our session. Thank you guys for listening to my videos. See you guys next time. Bye bye. Assalamualaikum.